Hello and welcome to another mod spotlight. I'm Exterminator and thank you for joining me. The spotlight is going to cover the Terraforming mod, which allows you to build bridges, moats, and drawbridges. So this mod's been out for quite a while, but I haven't been able to do a spotlight until now just because I've just been doing other stuff. So let's start here. So you can build bridges, you can build moats, and you can build drawbridges. Now, currently it does not use any special graphics. It borrows the graphic of the chemical plant and uses gate graphics for the drawbridges. The developer of the mod said that they're a work in progress, the graphics are. So let's start with a bridge, okay? So you have these things, and you get 3 technologies when you install this mod. You get the basic terraforming, which unlocks the bridge builder, and the ford, which is just a dirt bridge, essentially. And then you can get the improved terraforming, where you can make stone bridge, concrete bridge, a moat digger, a normal moat, fill water barrel, and empty water barrel. And then the last one just allows you to do stone line moat, concrete line moat, and then the drawbridge and the rail drawbridge. Okay, so let's start with the bridges. You can see I messed up, or I started a little bit here. I built this concrete bridge, so that's pretty cool. I'll do another one to kind of just show you what it actually looks like. So you have to place it by the water here, and if you don't, it'll kind of give you a little message. The messages are really funny. Hi sir, we see the water ahead. It will just take us a minute to get over there. So you just need to kind of place it like on the water here, and this blue arrow is the direction it's going to build in, okay? So let's for this one say we want a stone bridge. Okay, it requires wood and stone brick. It requires 3 wood and 5 stone brick. Takes 7 seconds per piece. And then you need to put fuel in it. Okay, so I'm going to put some fuel, put some wood, and I'm going to put some stone brick. So he's going to go. Now these are pretty slow, right? So I'm going to put speed modules in him. And he'll kind of just inch along here. We're not going to watch it the whole time. You can see inches along. We'll watch it through one more cycle, so you can just kind of see what it looks like. Okay, so he's starting to build a bridge, and we'll let him do that thing. There we go. I had my additional info off. So he's building. Now this may not connect. I may have put him a little too close to the water. No, it does. It's just there's a little piece of land there. Okay, so there's that. And these build pretty wide. These build, however, what is this? 4 wide or 3 wide? So these are that size, and the fords are smaller. This little bit here is a ford that I built. This water was connected, so it's not quite as wide. It just builds a dirt bridge. Okay, so you just select it in the machine, whichever one you want, load up the materials, and get going. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't have like a request slot or anything, so you'd have to manually go refill it unless you, well, with bridges you probably would, because it's not like you can put request request like in the water as it's going. I'm trying to think. Yeah. So, but I mean, it's not like you shouldn't be building a bridge that's like miles long, right? Okay, the next thing is moats. You can see I've done some tests here. So, it will pop up a message, brick completed. Okay. So, bridge is done. Can walk on it. It speeds up your walking if it's concrete or stone like normal. And there you go. Okay, so the moat digger makes a moat. Pretty straightforward. Put it down. One thing to note here is you have the blue arrow again, but the moat digger builds backwards from the arrow, okay? You can't really build a moat like as you're going over the moat, if that makes sense. So it needs to build backwards from itself. So just keep in mind that the arrow, it's going to pretty much build in the opposite direction of that. Let's go ahead and do a concrete line moat. This is a stone one, and that's what a normal one looks like. Okay, now this guy takes quite a bit. He takes an iron axe per cycle, right? 3 iron plate, 3 concrete, and a water barrel, obviously, because you need to make the water. So, I'm going to stick some water barrels in here. I'm going to stick some concrete, some iron, and some axes. And then some fuel. He's going to be off, and I'm going to load up speed modules. Again, this takes even 10 seconds, which is pretty long. And it makes the moat just this wide, but it can kind of be nice, and maybe as a substitute for walls. it's obviously not super wide, but you know, stuff can't cross it without a bridge, biters and such like that. You could maybe put it like around your wall. You know, you can definitely be creative. Now the developer has said that they realize this is pretty overpowered. I mean, really, for what you're doing, it's not all that expensive. So, you know, if you're not into that type of stuff, then probably not your type of mod. But if you don't really care about that, then it's pretty cool. So you can build your moats. This will just keep going for however long. Okay. Now, this is the latest version of the mod, and this mod is done on version 0.12.19 of Factorio. Okay, and in this version, the developer made a note that you should be able to like build over mine through resources, but that is the one thing I've not gotten to work. It like does it for part of the way, as you can see here, but then it like stops and gives me like an error message like the machine does. So maybe I'm doing something wrong. I've done it multiple times and can't get it to work exactly. So, I mean, I can't imagine you would really need to do that often, but that is there if you can get it to work. I'll do some more research and throw in an annotation and stuff if I can figure it out. Okay, so we have that. Now bridges. We have a drawbridge and a rail drawbridge. Okay, I'm just going to let him go until he runs out. So a normal drawbridge uses the gate, and it's kind of interesting. So it's best demonstrated on the moat because it really only extends like one forward. Okay, so you place it here by the water, and as you can see, it's a gate normally, but as you approach it, it creates a concrete path in front of it and allows you to walk through it, right? It works from both sides. Now I haven't tried placing one over here. I would assume it kind of just does the same thing. So there you go. You know, you can make it 2 wide, 3 wide, however wide you want. So pretty straightforward. You just place them and there you go. Now if you place them one after the other to try to cross like this much water, it seems to get a little bit derpy. So if you do that and then that, it I mean, you can do it, right? Kind of. You know, it'll work, but it's a little derpy, the graphics, when it's like closed. So you can do it. And then what happened here, one thing to note is when you tear it up, I died because I fell into the water. So that's pretty funny. Yeah, so don't do that. But when you tear it up, it like leaves the concrete, so that's something to kind of keep in mind. And I don't think it lets me. You can tear it up if you can reach it. You know, if it's like in the middle of a lake or something, you can't really reach it. But so there you go. Don't tear it up while you're on top of it. And so there's that. Obviously, our Moat Digger and stuff got taken away because I had to reload. But you can see what it did. And then we have these rail bridges. Okay. Now these confused me for a little bit. One thing important to note is that these only trains can use these. Okay. So like, if I do this, it won't let me go through. Right. I just can't cross it. And obviously enemies couldn't either. I can't go across it. So when you place it, for a while I thought it was just like broken. It's just important to note for the rail bridges, only trains can cross those. So if we grab a train, let me just extend this rail a little bit so we can get up some speed. Okay, so if you have a train here, he can cross it, right? So he's gonna go, and there you go, boom, crossed it. You know, it can, bridge completed. Okay, it can work from both directions. So just to demonstrate, I'm gonna go ahead and hop in this way, go that way. So there you go. Kind of the same deal. I'm not sure you would really want to try it like over a big body of water. I have tried to mess with it, and it really seems to not want to work too great. Okay, so this is pretty much just telling me that'll work. It'll work with this. Now, obviously, I can't place anything here. I can place stuff here, but really, I would need like another one of these, and it seems to get. Okay, so there you go. So that one will actually work. Okay, sometimes it's just a little weird, but for the most part, it works good. So if I go ahead and grab my locomotive, I'll just do another test here to show you. So these are pretty cool. You know, so you can completely like surround your base in a moat and just put some bridges and rail bridges and stuff. And you could go in and out and keep the enemies out as well. So here you go. Obviously, if the rail extended, it would just keep going. And I believe that's it. So you have the 3 kinds of moats. You have your stone line moat, which is this. And I just stopped it here. Obviously, it would be continuous. And you have your normal moat, which just is just dirt around it, just the terrain. And then you have your concrete moat, which we saw earlier. And out of curiosity, if we do a normal moat, grab some wood here, it looks like it's wider. So that might be something important to keep in mind. So let that thing go. So you have those, and then you have your bridges, your fords, which are just the dirt bridges, and they're skinny, like the width of the water here. And then you have your stone bridge and your concrete bridge, which are the width of these. And these are wider, so that's something to keep in mind when you're doing that. And then you have your normal bridges, which we tested. You can use them over larger bodies of water. It's just a little funky sometimes. But like over your moat, which is when you'd use them the most, they work great. And then you have your rail bridges, which again, only trains can use. So, you know, you won't be able to walk over them, neither will the enemies. And those seem to work pretty well, great as well. So I think that covers it. Again, latest version of the mod as of this mod spotlight on version 0.12.19 of Factorio. It should work on 0.20 as well, or 0.12.20. And yeah, so there you go. As always, there will be a link in the description to the forum post where you can find this mod and more information about it. And there's all kind of pictures and demonstrations there as well. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful and informative. And, you know, definitely check out the mod if you're interested in this type of thing. And if you have any questions or if I missed anything, which hopefully I didn't, but if I did, you know, definitely post down in the comments and let me know or ask your questions. But until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.